Hi, I'm going to say that in English first, then I will proceed to translate it in French and other languages maybe. I knew that carbs, especially refined or simple carbs, can lead to feelings of sluggishness and fatigue. And main reason being that carb consumption also leads to the release of serotonin, which is an hormone neurotransmitter that makes you feel happy and relaxed. But when serotonin hits high levels in the brain, it can make you feel tired and sleepy. So I was after all my battles with carbs, because I sometimes was succeeding, sometimes not so much. And I just saw here, okay, let me just read that. Why do carbohydrates make me tired? Carbohydrates help raise tryptophan, which converts to serotonin, then melatonin, which makes us sleepy. High GI carbohydrates and sleepiness. So I will put the links, of course, in the video description. I'm not making things up. And yeah, I was wondering, after all this battle with carb, but also I must mention that women from previous generations, and even my stepmother, she was giving more meat to the boys than the girls. Yes, she was very living in the past, I would say. But yes, for millennials, when you're talking about what is stored in your DNA, for women, what was stored back, there's not so much time ago, was the fact that they were letting the meat to men, while they were more eating carbs, because you cannot live on veggies and fruits only, because it's not very fulfilling. Yes, you can add the fibers too, but there are limits to that. So yeah, I was, even myself, my stepmother was making me eating more carbs than meat, because I was a girl. So the epigenetics, that's the word I was looking for. The epigenetics, when you think about that, it was made for millennials. So, and even in my own lifetime. So this also explains why some people rely more on carbohydrates. But this does not explain everything. Epigenetics doesn't explain everything, of course. So I was thinking, well, when you read the labels, you have the glucide in French, carbohydrate in English. So when you read the label, the glucides, because we don't always think about what carbs are. Carbs are what is called in French glucine, and glucine, it comes from glucose, so you can easily deduct what is behind glucose. Think of sugar, sugary, glucose, fructose, etc. So I was thinking, since sugar is a comfort food, then I deducted that, well, carbs are glucides, glucose, and other types of sugar that I won't mention here, including fructose, etc. So since there is sugar addiction because sugar is comfort food, then it's not surprising to think, it's not unreasonable to think that there is also an addiction to carbs, because carbs are basically sugar, and sugar brings comfort to some people, especially children. So yeah, so there is an addiction to carb. And right now I will do something else. Carbohydrates, particularly refined ones like sugar, of course, sugar is included as carb, can be addictive to some individuals due to their impact on brain chemistry and the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. So we were talking about serotonin, melatonin before, but I wasn't thinking in terms of dopamine too. So you can just imagine how addictive carbs are, and I want to have a better idea. I want to make a comparison. Addiction to carbs compared to smoking and drinking alcohol, which there is sugar in alcohol too, another type of sugar. Okay, let's see what comes up. Can trigger addictive behavior similar to those seen with nicotine and alcohol. These foods can lead to intense cravings, loss of control, and continued consumption despite negative consequences, like for instance feeling sluggish and lethargic. While the term food addiction is being researched, studies indicate that some individuals may experience withdrawal symptoms when trying to reduce their intake of these foods. And even here The Guardian is saying the same thing, but I won't open. I don't have a subscription. I will just read what is provided in my search. The Guardian, it's like trying to quit smoking. Why are 1 in 7 of us addicted to? But I'll do a parenthesis. I'm not talking about biscuits and ice creams and fizzy drinks and so forth. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about starches. I tend to be too much to my taste, relying on starches. Like I previously said, it is something that women learn over the centuries and millennia, but more precisely when I was a teenager until when I became a young adult, I was pushed, not just encouraged, but really pushed to eat carbs compared to the boys in the house who were having more meat than me. So because the people, when they were applying that, their reasoning was that boys need more meat because they are building more muscles. But who said that women don't need muscles, right? Especially when you are getting older, you better have muscles. And it is encouraged to do some exercises in order to build strength, to do some strength exercises in order to help yourself to be healthier when you're getting older, and also for your bones. Your bones are supported by those muscles. So and also, not only you need muscles when you're getting older, but it's so important that there are women who are dying because they are fracturing their hips. It's enough to cause death. So it's one of the reasons why, and also very important for women who are getting older to take K2, D3 vitamins, not calcium. Some people are confusing. It's not calcium pills that you need most. I'm not a doctor. This is not I make a disclaimer right now. This is not a doctor speaking. If you need some advices from a doctor, you go to your doctor. But K2, D3 is very important when you're getting older, for speaking of the bones. So yeah, back to what I was saying. Yeah, addiction to carbs compared to smoking and drinking alcohol. I guess even the starches. I will check this out. To starches, like for instance chips. At least popcorn, you have some fibers, but not in the chips. So popcorn, even though you get as much carbs as chips, because there is fiber in the popcorn, is better. Not much better, but if you want to make a choice between the two, that's the reason why I pick more popcorn. So what about addiction? Addiction to starch compared to smoking and drinking alcohol. What is more addictive, smoking or drinking? No, this is not what I want. 1 on 3 Americans over 50 years old show signs of food addiction. This was posted on January 2023 by University of Michigan News. It's a side note. Can food really be as addictive as alcohol and cigarettes. It's not what I want. I want about precisely about starch. So let's generalize for now, starches or sugars. So let's keep it that way for now. So I'm not talking, yes I know chips is more like junk food, even though I am getting the bio chips. It's still chips, right? But I will leave it like this for now, and I hope it will be useful to you. It is to me, at least. So if you want more information, show your interest, because this might be the only audio I will make about it, unless proven otherwise, because I think I have found what I needed, and I will put the links of what I read, the researches that I read in the video description. I thank you for listening. Oh yes, especially since I'm not a doctor, I want to provide, all the information in the video description so that you can make your mind about it and ask your doctor.